I have a set of entry Team Comm Sordin dual communication headset. I got these off of eBay for me and a few friends of mine. Good headset. Everything's on it all right. Stickers fell off mine, but I don't really care about that. This is normally what I would say Team Entry Comm. They take off the MSA Sordin. It's a dual lead. Maybe they make some of these in a single. Maybe there's some other brands that did this. But the issue I had with this when I got it was really quiet. Even if I had the radio on my kit turned all the way up, it just was quiet. I previously had a set of TCI Liberator 2s, and they were very loud. I spent a ton of hours out here since I couldn't sleep. Looked at these, traced out some wires in an old Sordin headset of mine, and I found the issue of why it was doing it. They put some sort of transformer in there. Why, I don't know. Could only guess it had something to do with the push-to-talk or the radio that they sold with these headsets, or they were intended for. That's just a guess. You take this out, and it's going to be a lot louder for you. I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about, because I have one side with this modification done and one side without the modification done right now. It's obviously not going to be that loud, but right now I have my radio hooked up to the side that I have not done this modification to yet. I'm going to turn on the radio up to full volume, and you're going to hear how quiet it is. I don't even know if you heard it, but it's really quiet. Now, if I switch to the side I did the modification on, now, you might think, oh, that's really loud for your ears, but the idea is that's at max volume. You don't want to be listening to it at max volume, and if you're using these while you're shooting or something, or in a loud environment, whatever your application is for this, that makes a big difference. I noticed that, for example, if I was walking around in a very quiet environment, but there was wind, that kind of creates a lot of noise with the active hearing protection, and you actually could not hear the radio over that. If someone was trying to talk to you, you would hear that someone was trying to talk to you, but you wouldn't hear what they would say. Now we're going to move into how to fix it. All right, here's the tools I used. Some sort of soldering iron, wire strippers. If you have some wire strippers specifically for small wire, it'd be better. I don't. I use this. Some regular snips, a small flathead screwdriver for prying minor things. A couple different types of needle nose pliers helped me. You probably don't have to use those. This is the most important thing. It's a T8 Torx bit. This one's a security one, but you don't have to have the security one. And then that's the screwdriver it goes in. Some small sized heat shrink wrap, lighter for or whatever you're going to use to melt it. Electrical tape I used, and then potentially hot glue you may need. Okay, so the side I have not done the modification yet is the battery side. So start by removing the cups. I'm going to do my best to make it so you can see everything it's doing. If you haven't done this, you just stick your finger underneath and they kind of pop out. Okay, and there goes the foam, which also comes out. So that's going to expose everything in here with the speaker. On this side, there's 1, 2, 3 of the Torx bits. You're going to take those out so that way you can expose the back side of the wiring and stuff. This is the speaker for the active hearing protection. This is the speaker for the communications. And this right here is what is reducing the volume. Now what we're going to do is there's a white wire coming in from your lead and there's a black wire, and they're going to be attached to here. The white wire is going to this red one that's then going to this transformer. The black wire goes to all these blue wires that then go to the transformer. There's a light blue wire that goes to the speaker. There's a yellow wire that comes from the speaker. disconnect this yellow wire from the green wire, disconnect the white wire from the red wire, and put the yellow wire to the white wire. And then we're going to just cut these two wires that are going to the transformer that are blue, get them as close as possible to this wire shrink. The other thing you could do, completely disconnect all of this, put the light blue and the black wire together. I'm going to choose not to do that because it's one less thing that needs to be soldered again. And I would prefer to do as little modification as possible. So before I do any more of this, I'm going to splice in a clip showing what the inside of this earpiece looks like, because it's obviously different than this side with the battery, but the procedure is going to be the same thing. All the wire colors are the same. This will be what the inside on the microphone ear looks like. You may have a different speaker right here, but basically the same as the other side, except 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Torx bits, and then the hot glue, you might need to finagle it. This will fold out of the way. Speaker may fight you a little bit. Okay, I'm going to move forward with starting to do the work here that I previously explained. I'll do my best to keep it within the camera, but it's going to be pretty tricky. All right, so I'm going to reassemble it and then give it a test to see if it's louder. If you noticed when I was doing the work and the fast forward, I decided not to eliminate the red wire. They gave me a little extra space to be able to do the soldering. Anybody out there who's good at soldering probably cringed watching me do that. When I had those little 2 other blue wires on this end, I didn't like the idea once they pressed that there was a slight possibility they could short, so I didn't have a shrink wrap that would wrap around them well. It either would have been way too big or it wouldn't fit over it, so I just put like a gob of electrical tape around it. I mean, it's gonna all be in here pretty secure. Just one quick note while I'm putting this all back together. While I got these ear cups out, if you feel like these aren't protecting your hearing good enough, you'd like them to work better, you can add more foam of your own in there and it'll probably be good. Or if you actually want a little bit more noise to come through, you could take some of the foam out. I'm happy with it the way it is. Anyway, it's back together. All right, set up on the battery side, the one we just modified. I'm going to turn it on, and you should hear a big difference from the beginning of the video.
Channel mode.
Oh yeah, that's way better. I'm really happy with that. If you bought a set of these headsets like me on eBay or had them from somewhere else and that problem was bothering you, hopefully this was helpful. You could fix it and you'll be able to hear your comms better.